Fuck it. I'm going to start by promoting the Patreon, all right? So get used to that shit, motherfuckers.
Uh-oh.
All right. I'm Daniel Ehrenberg. Over there is Henry Papali over in New Jersey. And we're going to talk about the Equalizer today. But hey, check out the Patreon. It's $5 a month. You get 2 bonus episodes. There's one up already, episode 1 of a new podcast that we created called Award Bros. And more to come.
Yeah, we didn't waste any time. And for those people, to give you a little preview, and if you haven't subscribed, might make you want to subscribe. Our next episode on Award Bros is going to be a little bit of Oscar coverage, a little predictive texts going on.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the upcoming Oscars, hosted by no one, featuring no popular film category, and all categories will be aired, contrary to everything the Oscars have said.
Yeah, so there you go. There's another reason right there. You're only going to get to hear that. But, hey, we're glad you're here anyway, because this is the bread and butter of the show.
This is the franchise, episode number 141.
That's right. And as Dan said earlier, Fuquit. Am I right?
Is that because Antoine Fuqua directed the movies we're going to cover today?
That's right.
Okay. So The Equalizer, these came out of nowhere. They came out in 2014 and then again last year. They just keep appearing on the schedule. And they're a remake of a show from the 80s. It's weird because this used to be really in vogue, where we're just going to remake every god-awful shit TV show.
Yeah.
The Mod Squad, or Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
And so they don't really do that as much anymore. And it's not like people are crying out for a reboot of The Equalizer. There's not like huge Edward Woodward fans out there.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was actually trying to find the show to try to watch one. I couldn't get it anywhere.
Oh, fuck you, Henry. It took a simple Google.
I did that.
I Googled The Equalizer TV show streaming.
And you got NBC.com?
Yes.
Don't you have to pay for that?
No.
Oh, I would have watched it. I thought I had to pay for that.
I thought we were going to get into a huge conversation about it. I watched the pilot episode.
You fucking didn't. You said we were going to. I wanted to do that. I'm not lying. God damn it.
Well, I did. All right. And I want to talk about it.
Well, I want to hear about it then. So
okay.
Let's look at it like that. Yeah.
Okay. So it's I watched the pilot episode. This is a show that ran for 4 seasons in the 80s, from 85 to 89.
Right.
All right. It was created by the guy that created BJ and the Bear.
Okay.
All right. So huge pedigree.
Yeah. It had some noms too throughout the years, which really surprised me. Yeah.
Well,
couple of GGs, couple of Emmys.
Probably for Edward Woodward, right?
I think so, yeah.
Because he's a classy actor, and he's doing his best on this thing. And
what'd you think of it?
I gotta tell you, I liked it way more than the movies.
Really?
Yeah, I really did.
I don't know what you thought of the movies, so I don't know. We have a barometer yet, but
it's a pretty solid show. Like if I watched this pilot, at the time, I would have kept watching the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's pretty interesting. It's a real hybrid show because it's a procedural, but he's not really a private detective. He's not really a private eye. He's kind of working with the government. He's kind of working with the cops. Like, they're all aware of him.
Right.
But he's on his own.
So he's a vigilante, right?
He's a little bit of a vigilante, but the people are aware of him. It's more like a superhero kind of a thing almost, because it's almost like Batman, where it's it's like what this guy's doing is illegal, but he's got skills. We're gonna let him do it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah, Woodward's a spy. He works in the government. His former partner is played by Jerry Stiller.
Yeah, I saw that,
which is unbelievable.
Oh boy!
And he plays it straight in this. Like, he's not like Jerry Stillering around. This is pre-Seinfeld.
Right.
So it starts with him already out on. Actually, it opens on a shot of the Twin Towers. Great.
You're in.
You're in. And they shoot it in New York, Henry. So
Oh, really?
it's like old, scuzzy 80s New York.
Oh, that's pretty odd. I'm watching this.
Yeah, it's good. All the subway trains are like covered in fucking. It starts on the Times Square shuttle. There's like a
Nice.
like a girl getting like hit or something by a dude.
Yeah.
And so he's gonna he's extreme, so he like pulls a gun on him and shit. And then so he places an ad in the newspaper, Henry.
Right.
All right? And the ad says, "Got a problem? Odds against you? Call the Equalizer." See, they never really explain in these movies why he's called the Equalizer.
Well, I didn't think they needed to, but
No, but the Equalizer is such a cool name. Like,
yeah, it is.
There should be there's no scene in the movies where Denzel's like, "You've been equalized," or "I am the Equalizer," and they should be. Those movies are silly enough to warrant that shit.
I agree. I watched the behind the scenes of the first one, and actually Denzel himself, in an interview, said he was happy that the character didn't have a qualifier, like he didn't have to be called the or something. I think that might have been his choice.
That doesn't surprise me. Denzel's a classy actor. It's surprising me that he's doing this bullshit in the first place. I think he's just pals with Fuqua. He got a big payday. The budget on these movies the budgets on these two movies are $73 and $79 million respectively, which is way more money than they needed to spend on these. And you got to imagine all that money's going to Denzel.
I mean, some of it, yeah, but he gets big paydays now, right? I mean,
oh yeah, I would say you can make
20,
more
30.
money if you drop the budget on these bad boys. But to me, if the studio goes to Denzel and says, "Hey, would you take a slight pay cut?" He'd be like, "No, I'll just not do this movie."
Yeah, although we're going to rank all the Denzel movies, and I will take you to task for saying that he, calling this bullshit.
No, he's in a lot of bullshit, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a key question about the show before we're done with that.
I'm not done. I'm not even close to done.
Oh, okay. Then it fits in. Edward Woodward is a Brit. Is he a Brit in the show?
Yes, yeah, total Brit accent.
I like it.
He's a very effete Brit.
I read that he drinks fine wine and
yeah, that sort of thing. And he walks around with a pop collar trench coat the whole time. And so there's two main plots in this first episode. One is sort of like there's like a scheme going on. It's like a tech scheme, and this guy, I think it was like a guy got too close to something, and now this company's gonna kill him, and he needs to hide with his family. And the Equalizer is like, "Don't worry, I got it." I'm doing like a Czechoslovakian accent.
That's good.
But good. At some point, like someone asks him, like, "So what is it that you do?" And he goes, "I'm the Equalizer, right? I equalize the odds." All right, and it's dynamite. And
that sounds great.
And so he saves this dude. There's like a drive-by, and then there's like a side plot in the first episode, which is even better, where this girl's being like hardcore stalked, and she's got like a daughter, and this creep keeps like showing up outside the apartment. It's baller. And also, it was 48 minutes because there were fewer commercials back then, so they really gave this shit time to breathe. And the Equalizer is like, "Motherfucker, you're safe. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You're safe." And so he catches this dude outside of her apartment, and then he just like runs him down in his car. Like he drives into like Central Park and like pins him against a wall.
Yikes.
And he's like, "Don't you?" He holds a gun to his face and don't go near her. But then he goes near her again because I guess this set him off, and he tries to rape her. And Equalizer, don't even worry about it. He shows up right at the door in the nick of time. Fuck this guy.
So does he, unlike most of the vigilantes, but like someone like the Punisher, he does like in the movies just kill.
He doesn't kill. No.
He doesn't kill.
No, he doesn't. There's nothing like that. There are bursts of violence like there are in the movies, but it's more like, I'm a karate chop this guy in the neck, or like at one point the rapist guy is holding the girl at gunpoint.
Yeah.
And So it's the kind of thing where like his shoulder is just showing, and like Equalizer's such a good shot, he's like, fuck it, I'll just shoot this guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, no, he doesn't like destroy people like that.
Well, that makes more sense if he's like government kind of like, yeah, he's not just murdering
Yes,
folks.
absolutely.
Which he is not particularly government
Yeah,
sanctioned
it's
in
not
the movie.
exactly like Death Wish. It's more
Right.
Yeah, it's like the idea, I guess, is if like James Bond just like moved to a small town.
Yeah, but he kills everybody.
But it's not a small town. It's New York City. Yeah, he's got a license to kill. This guy's got a license to maim.
Right.
So there's also his wife, I guess, is dead, like in the movie, but he has a son.
Okay.
And so, like, he when he kills that rapist guy, he's got this teenage son who's got a chip on his shoulder. The son is played by William Zabka from The Karate Kid. And,
who's he in The Karate Kid?
You know, the villain.
Blonde?
Yeah, the blonde guy.
Okay, bad guy. All right.
The bad guy, and he's a bad guy in like everything in the 80s, but he's playing a pretty credible, like, nice kid in this show. I actually really liked him.
Okay.
And I liked their subplot, and after he captures and shoots this rapist, he shows up at the kid's violin recital in the nick of time.
Well, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, the kid finishes playing his piece. He looks up at the audience. There's the Equalizer there, and they share a nice smile.
Huh. Wow. All right.
Yeah. Also,
I'm watching this, man. I mean,
Henry. Also, it is the score.
Yeah.
Is by Stuart Copeland from The Police, and it's nice and interesting atonal beats and shit.
Yeah, I read about that. That's cool. That's really cool. So, yeah, I didn't listen to it, but I want to hear. I want to take it all in. Yeah, because I actually really love the score to the first movie. So
yeah, so you'll be loving it. I read up on a couple of the episodes that are considered the best Equalizer episodes, and I may go back for more.
I was just gonna ask, is this something you'd check out again?
Yeah, if I was like having a day where I couldn't think of anything to watch, I'd pop on, or let's say I'm cleaning my room or something.
Yeah,
I'll pop on an Equalizer.
I did notice one of the people that is in the movies was in one episode of the show.
Who's that?
Melissa Leo.
Oh, weird. Yeah. It's one of those shows where like tons of good actors have like appeared on it for like before anyone gave a shit.
Yeah.
Working actors. They shot in New York, and it's like pre-Law and Order, so maybe this was that for a couple years.
You'd be walking around, you just see Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah. Maybe Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. Let's hope not.
Yeah, William H. Macy could show up in an episode.
There you go.
I saw him on an early Law and Order. I saw Philip Seymour Hoffman on an early Law and Order.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So that's the TV show. I give it 4. I don't know. But I'll tell you what. In my rankings, I like it more than the Equalizer movies.
Okay. All
right. So let's get to the movies.
Yeah.
So the first one comes out in July 2014. By the way, the TV show is on CBS, but it's streaming on NBC. Interesting.
That's odd.
Yeah. Maybe it was like produced by, they're all like maybe Universal, because like Universal owns NBC now or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and that's interesting about it being free, because I think the reason I thought it wasn't was because I've tried to watch old Saturday Night Live clips, and it's kind of been a fucking hassle on that streaming site. So I don't know. Maybe it ain't now. It's
just
been a while.
NBC.com, man. How hard could it be?
Well, it's me we're talking about.
All right. So the Equalizer movie, they started developing it in 2010. At one point, Paul Haggis was attached to direct.
Great.
Yep, the director of Crash. And he was going to have Russell Crowe play the Equalizer, which could have worked.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Denzel's American Gangster and Virtuosity co-star.
That's right.
Yeah. And so that fell apart, I guess. Russell Crowe, he got fat. Paul Haggis, he got in his fight with the Scientology. And it moved on, and it ends up being written by a fella named Richard Wenk. I don't know if you're familiar with this guy.
I mean, only from the stuff I watched on the disc. But
All right.
yeah.
Well, I mean, had a long career. He's had a really weird career. He's been working since the '80s. But so he wrote and directed the classic Andy Garcia, Andy McDowell rom-com, Just the Ticket.
Oh my! I've never heard of that.
I saw it.
Really?
Yes.
Just the Ticket.
Just the Ticket.
What year is that?
98. 98.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a ticket scalper. That's why it's called Just the Ticket.
God, we had some good ideas for rom-coms.
I think he's scalping tickets to like the Pope's visit to America.
Sounds right.
Yeah. All right, so then he goes on. He's a writer. He wrote 16 Blocks, the last Donner movie. He wrote The Mechanic, the Statham remake. He wrote Expendables 2. That's how I think he got this job, Equalizer.
Okay.
Yeah. Or The Mechanic probably got him this job, too. That was a success.
So this is like his kind of area is action.
Old man action. That's what he does.
Action.
So,
yeah.
I mean, he Equalizer and Equalizer 2, and I guess Fuqua liked working with him because in between those two movies, they did The Magnificent Seven together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know you're not a fan. And he also wrote the what's it called? The sequel to Jack Reacher.
Oh, I didn't see that. I saw the original, but
I didn't see either one of them. All right, and it's directed by Antoine Fuqua, who Denzel is a guy who's very set in his ways, and he likes working with the same directors over and over again. So he had a relationship with Spike Lee for a while. Then he's been in a lot of Tony Scott movies, obviously, and then Tony Scott died. So he was like, "What do I do?" And so he had worked with Fuqua in Training Day, and now he works with Fuqua a ton.
Yeah.
So that's the way we got it. Now, Henry suggested ranking Antoine Fuqua movies this week.
Yeah, why not?
And here's something I discovered in trying to do this.
I'm in. Can I predict?
Yeah.
You've only seen like 3 movies.
That's exactly right.
Is that right? 3?
Until I watched these Equalizer movies.
So 5.
5 now, yeah.
All right, well, I've seen 8 total. So.
All right.
Boy, this is a weird one. This doesn't happen often.
No, it's totally weird. I don't even know how to go about doing it, really.
Well, we do it like we always do it. You'll join me.
Fine.
After
Yeah, start with 8.
Yeah. All right, you want to just go for it then?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so number 8 coming in, the worst Antoine Fuqua movie, and I saw it in theaters, and it was
I know what you're going to say. Can I guess
awful. Huh?
Can I guess?
Yeah.
The Magnificent Seven.
Yes.
You really hated that. I remember that shit.
I really did hate it.
Yeah.
Nothing worked. And I feel like everything should have. It was had a great cast and a good director. It was just a fucking mess. It was awful. And I didn't like the historical smoking. That was the first time I had ever seen that.
Oh, that's right. I remember that bug you.
That was the first time. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
The 7th, also this sucked, but I had a much better time watching it. I'll never see it again. Was Olympus Has Fallen.
Yep, skipped it, went to see White House Down instead, had a much better time. But I think this year or maybe early next year, the 3rd movie of that is coming out, so we should cover it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Number 6, another movie, because it was Antoine Fuqua and this particular actor. I thought I was in for a wallop of a picture, and I was sorely disappointed, and that is Southpaw.
Sure, boxing picture. Who's the actor in that? Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very bad. Very bad.
Now he fights left-handed, I imagine.
Yeah, I believe that is the case. All right, now we're coming in at number 5. We'll save the heavy hitters theme for Denzel because
yeah, these are not heavy hitters.
No.
By the way, I only like one Antoine Fuqua movie.
Yeah, I like 4 and I love 2.
Wow. Okay.
I love 2 movies. That's not a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not like the most prolific director. That's
No,
like a
not
good
at all.
tally for a director.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Number 5. I haven't seen this in probably 20 years, but I remember it being an okay time. The Replacement Killers.
Okay, yeah. My number 5 is the Bruce Willis war picture, Tears of the Sun.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. My number 4 is the Equalizer 2.
Okay. My number 4 is the aforementioned The Replacement Killers. We were trying to make Chow Yun-fat a star there. He could
Yeah.
not speak a lick of English. And the charisma he has in those John Woo movies just did not carry through. And, it's got a couple little bright action scenes because Fuqua can direct action and Mira Sorvino's likable, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I think I'll go along with that. Number 3, I just remember seeing in the theater for some reason and liking it, but forgetting about it. But Tears of the Sun.
Yeah, I mean, that's a Henry movie, I guess. It's called Tears of the Sun. That sounds like something you'd like.
Very true.
If you didn't know it was Antoine Fuqua, you might think it was Ed Zwick.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like not really any good though, because it's like not even based on anything, and it's just kind of it's like a very, very well. It's one of his like prime examples of like him being good at his craft.
Mm-hmm.
It's like fucking Tears of the Sun should be the worst movie he's done, and Magnificent Seven should like be one of the best, but it's reversed. So he's a strange bird. So what's
Tears
your number?
of the Sun was very unmemorable. I honestly,
I don't remember anything about it.
I'm thinking about it in my head, and I have no idea whether I'm actually remembering that or Hearts War.
I didn't see Hearts War. That's a World War II thing, I think.
I guess.
I don't know. Who fucking knows? Yeah, and they're not very good.
All right.
So what's your number 3 then?
Look, I honestly, I like these Equalizers about as much as I like those, but they go up a notch because Denzel Washington's in them, and Denzel Washington's one of my favorite actors. So I guess Equalizer 2.
Okay. My number 2 is The Equalizer.
Yeah, mine too. And then his best movie's Training Day.
Yeah, it really is.
By like a mile.
Yeah, I agree. He hasn't surpassed that. However, it's already kind of ruined it a little bit, but I think the first Equalizer's really, really got some cool stuff. But I don't want to say much more than that. But Training Day really is like that. It's that, and then there's all this other stuff.
I think Fuqua could do the job given the right script. I'm looking at his movies. He constantly works on these shit movies.
Yeah, it's true.
Mean, the ones we didn't see, there's Bait, which is a pretty standard Jamie Foxx vehicle. He did a King Arthur thing that nobody could possibly give a shit about because no one ever gives a shit about those.
True.
It's like the Robin Hood thing. And and he did Shooter with Wahlberg, which was a hit for him, but I mean, I don't know much about it.
I wouldn't see it. Yeah.
And Brooklyn's Finest.
I skipped that too.
Yeah, Shooter. Doesn't Mark Wahlberg have a great character name in that movie? Yeah,
I hope so.
I looked it up. Are you familiar with this, Henry?
No.
Mark Wahlberg plays a character in that movie named Bob Lee Swagger.
Bob Lee Swagger.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's me, Bob Lee Swagger. I'm the shooter. I'm the shooter.
Swagger.
Yeah.
Shooter.
Okay, so that's Fuqua.
Yeah.
This movie.
You know what I'd like to see him do? I wouldn't mind seeing him do. Honestly, it's not going to sound very original, but I think he'd do a good job with a good script of a superhero movie.
I knew you were going to say that. Look, he's a workman-like director, so he should be doing something like that. His shit tends to be a little grittier. Give him a DC movie.
I think
he could do that shit.
Yeah, I think he could easily I think he's got. He is workmanlike in the projects that he takes, but I think he's got a style.
No, I do too. I just mean like this is the kind of thing he feels comfortable making. So he could direct a cyborg movie.
Yeah. Oh, it has to be a black guy.
No, I just mean like you'd want to keep it street level, right?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is Black History Month, so we're covering the Equalizer, folks.
Oh, Henry, I didn't even think of that.
How did that work out? That was totally intentional.
Great stuff. Let's give ourselves a nice liberal pat on the back for that one.
Already did it. My shoulder hurts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So
we did that pretty quick. So before we get into movies, we're gonna have a little bit of time to do these 98 Washington movies, right?
Well, why not? Yeah. So this movie came out in July 26th, 2014. On a budget of $73 million. Very high. And it ended up making, how much, Hank?
I don't know.
I have it here. It's $192.3 million.
Oh, that's funny. I thought it made more than that. Okay.
No, see, it was one of those sort of, it's funny. It's like movies are like TV now because everything is made to have a sequel. So it's like when something does well but not that great, it's like it's on the bubble.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I did not see this in theaters. I just didn't care, to be honest. I really wasn't interested. I remember seeing previews for it, but I had known there was a show in the 80s, but oddly enough, growing up as a kid, I don't know how I missed that show, but I don't remember ever watching it, and I just didn't care. So I saw it later. I believe I streamed it or whatever the fuck I did. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
You had never seen it, right?
No, I really had no interest. I mean, I guess I had a little bit of interest just because Denzel.
Right.
But, I mean, at this point, Denzel makes enough, like, old man action movies that I could kind of skip them. And honestly, this movie, when it came out, I was listening. I'm such a Denzel fan that
you really are, because you even saw like that Roman Israel thing, right?
Oh, I saw the shit out of that.
Just because he was
enjoyed it. And enjoyed it.
Yeah.
By the way, The Equalizer came in at number 31 for the year in the box office, just behind The Maze Runner, just ahead of Noah.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Anyway, so I had been, at the time, there was a podcast, now defunct, called Denzel Washington is the Greatest Actor of All Time, period. Yeah. And it was co-hosted by W. Kamau Bell, who's a great comic who's now on CNN on his show United Shades of America, and Kevin Avery, who at the time anyway was writing for John Oliver. And they had a podcast about Denzel where they would go through every Denzel movie and talk about it. And they'd bring on guests who had been in Denzel movies, sort of like Denzel adjacent people.
Interesting.
And so they did 2 episodes about this movie when it came out, because this was like the new release when this podcast was out.
Okay.
And so they described it, in great detail.
Yeah.
So watching this movie, I knew everything that was going to happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remembered it super well. It was odd because it was like someone telling you a story, and some parts were how I imagined them, and some parts weren't exactly.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, and they also did an episode where they interviewed that fellow who plays the, that fat security guard.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So who I guess is a stand-up comic and had been just randomly cast in this movie and got to work with Denzel. So, I knew this movie pretty well. And so after I heard them talk about it, I was like, I'm good. I've kind of seen it.
Yeah. Wow, that's really weird. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we ranked every Denzel movie we've ever seen.
Yeah, and I honestly thought Dan would have seen about 5 or 6 more than me, but I was gravely mistaken.
I've seen 37 Denzel Washington pictures.
And I've seen 22. Yeah. I will say that was funny that you said the title of that podcast was Denzel Washington is the greatest actor of all time, right? Is that what you said?
Of all time, period.
Yeah. I remember very distinctly, I have this weird memory when I was in college, right? I had just seen Training Day in the theaters, and I remember I had a buddy back then in Pittsburgh, and he was a big movie buff, and I emailed him after I saw Training Day, and I remember typing the sentence, No, the question. I said, is there a better actor today than Denzel Washington? After I had seen Training Day, and he emailed me back with like this whole monologue about all these other actors who were better. And then I was like, yeah, but you didn't answer my question. Is there a better actor than Denzel Washington?
I don't think so. I
So there
honestly
was something
don't.
back then that, I mean, I've always liked him too, obviously, my whole life. But there's something about Training Day, really. I think.
Well,
For
I
me-
wish Denzel took more risks like Training Day.
Yeah, I guess that's what it was at the time.
And he does sometimes. He was really going for something in that Roman J. Israel. I mean, Fences was a big swing for him,
Yeah.
but a lot of times he falls back into more shit like these Equalizer movies.
Right, but when Training Day, I guess I had also never in 2001 at that point had never really seen him play a bad guy. I don't think he really had.
No, I think that's why that was such a big swing for him. He never
awesome.
really
Yeah.
did. He was always like very, very virtuous. I mean, the most complex character he'd played up to that point was probably Malcolm X.
Yeah, yes, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
right.
Could we start this? Because I've got a ways to go here.
Yeah, I'm going to sit back and relax.
All right, here, my number 37, my least favorite Denzel Washington movie, and it's honestly probably not that bad, but I saw this movie as a kid, and it was one of those things where it was like my parents, I was real little. My parents were hanging out with like our cousins, like, you know, and it's just like a bunch of old people, and they were gonna go out to the multiplex, and they didn't have a sitter, and so I just had to sit there and watch this adult movie.
Heart condition.
No, it's the Pelican Brief.
Oh, that's okay. I've seen that. That's on my list.
And I just remember being like, it was the most bored I've like. My parents still talk about it to this day. Like, remember when you had to sit through the Pelican Brief?
I saw it in the theater voluntarily as a teenager,
as a 35-year-old man.
That's right. That was the Grisham wave.
Oh yeah, that was near the beginning of the Grisham wave. It was probably like a year, maybe same year as The Firm.
I think you're right.
Yeah, around
93.
Mm-hmm. All right, so next
Not
up,
the worst one on my list, but I get it.
okay, number 36 is my least favorite Tony Scott movie, The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Didn't see it.
Largely destroyed because of John Travolta.
That's what I thought, and that's why I didn't go.
Mm-hmm. My number 35, Henry, is the aforementioned Heart Condition, which is a really bad movie. Denzel's actually good in it, but boy.
You saw that, huh?
Yeah, man. That was on TV a lot when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't even see that because of my Denzel Washington love. It was just like on a lot.
Sure.
My number 34, Henry, is a really heavy-handed, drama, and that's John Q.
Yeah, I avoided that like the plague. I remember when that came out.
Yeah. My number 33 is another boring movie with Bruce Willis. There are a lot of those. And that is The Siege.
I skipped that too.
That had some interesting ideas, but it's not really a good movie.
Okay.
Okay, my number 32 is his one Shakespeare outing. He did a version of Much Ado About Nothing, which is already a Shakespeare play I don't have a lot of time for. And he's okay in it.
Is that Branagh directed?
Yeah, I believe so. But I don't know. Maybe Shakespearean comedy is not quite the right fit for Denzel.
Shakespearean comedy is not quite the right fit for me. I'm more into. They don't work for me. But yeah, all right.
Okay. What am I up to? 31.
You tell me. I think so.
Wait, I fucked up, Henry.
Yeah.
My 32 was actually the Manchurian Candidate remake.
I saw that. That is bad.
Yeah. My 31 is Much Ado About Nothing.
Okay.
My 30, Henry, is the aforementioned Virtuosity, which was kind of like one of his first big action movies. It's just one of those movies where it's like, it's the 90s and we're going to talk about technology. We're worried about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so 29 is his 7 ripoff, Fallen.
Yeah, I saw that.
Time is on my side.
That's right.
Yeah, all
That's
over
right.
that movie.
Yeah, I remember that movie. It's on my list. We'll get there.
Okay. My 28, Henry, is, a light family movie he did called The Preacher's Wife.
Pasadena.
Not bad. Effortlessly charming Whitney Houston in that movie.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P.
Yep. My 27, Henry, is The Equalizer 2.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch. All right.
My number 26 is Tony Scott's Deja Vu.
Skipped it.
Mm-hmm. My number 25 is The Equalizer.
Okay.
And where do you come into this fucking thing?
22. We're almost there.
For fuck's sake, see more Denzel movies.
See
Not
less.
that I would really recommend any
Yeah,
of these.
see, you see less.
Yeah.
I
All right, my number 24 is Unstoppable.
saw it.
My number 23 is a movie I have a little bit of a soft spot for, a fine early 90s action movie called Ricochet.
I saw that too.
Mm-hmm. My number 22, are we up to?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, my number 22 is Courage Under Fire.
I saw it, and now I will jump in.
Thank you.
And now, of course, this is all proportional to your numbers, as everyone knows. The worst Denzel Washington movie that I've ever seen was Two Guns.
Ooh, I skipped that one. That was a skipperoonie for me.
Yeah, I got to confess something, and I have no fucking clue why I did this. I saw that in theaters.
Why?
I don't know.
Henry,
I have no idea why.
I think you have a soft spot in your heart for Mark Wahlberg, and it makes me very uncomfortable.
No, I really, really don't. It must have. I know myself very well and my movie-going habits. I must have been wanting to see something at all, and it must have been one of those weekends where there wasn't a default horror movie, and I was like, "Oh well, there's Denzel. Let's go see this." That's all. There's no other explanation because it's awful. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 22. You're next.
My number 21, one of his early, very serious acting roles as Steve Biko in Cry Freedom.
I always wanted to see that. I never saw it.
It's worthwhile. He does an accent in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 21, which is only better than Two Guns because of the time period it takes place in and the historical smoking reference, The Magnificent Seven.
Oh, God, you hate that movie.
It's terrible.
My number 20, a movie a lot of people like more than I do, and it's totally fine, but come on. When Friday Night Lights exists, I can't get too worked up over Remember the Titans.
Yeah, the title alone made me vomit. I never saw it.
I mean, it's better than We Are Marshall.
Number 20 for me was a movie I remember renting in New York and thinking it was pretty bad, and that's The Manchurian Candidate.
Oh, yeah, pretty bad. My number 19, we were making a lot of Seven ripoffs back in the 90s, and that is a movie called The Bone Collector.
That's my 19!
Wow. And I'll tell you what, that's getting franchised off, Henry.
Really?
Yeah. They're doing a Bone Collector TV series.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So get pumped for that.
Wow, so we have the same 19. That's funny. Which means you liked it much more in terms of your...
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I probably liked it more. I would probably give that movie like a 3.
Yeah.
It's got early Angelina.
Jolie,
yeah, you gotta love that. And I think it's got maybe... who's like the boss in that movie? There's like a good character actor. It's like John Goodman or something.
I don't remember. No, you're thinking of Fallen, but hey.
That is what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Wait, no, but who am I thinking of? I'm looking it up right now. Ooh, Michael Rooker's in it. Maybe I'm thinking of him. Oh, no. Ed O'Neill. It's got Ed O'Neill in a serious role.
Perfect.
All right, yeah. What's your? Oh, my 18. My
Yeah.
18 is a film he directed. I've seen 2 of the 3 movies he's directed.
Okay.
And that is Antoine Fisher, which is about the character Antoine Fisher, and it's written by Antoine Fisher.
Yeah, that's coming up on my list. Not quite yet. Number 18 on my list is The Pelican Brief.
My number 17 is the very fine film from the director of Nightcrawler, Roman J. Israel Esquire.
All right, didn't see it. Yeah. Number 17, a movie I don't remember that well, but I remember him being awesome in it. Courage Under Fire.
Yeah, it's all right. You know, Meg Ryan's miscast in that movie.
Yes,
it
I
brings
remember
down
that.
the whole operation.
Yeah, I remember that.
My number 16 is a kind of an underrated Hughes Brothers movie. Hughes Brothers are just underrated in general, but if you want to see a movie with little spicy violence moments that's better than the Equalizer movies, I would recommend The Book of Eli.
Didn't see it.
And although it's got a Signs ending, Henry, where it's like
really?
it's like the whole movie's awesome, and then at the end it's like it's got like a pro-religion message, and you're like, ugh.
Well, it's called The Book of Eli, so I figured it had some
He's like on a mission the whole movie, and you don't know what the fuck it is. And spoilers for The Book of Eli, but at the end of it, it turns out that there's someone's rebuilding like a library for like this post-apocalyptic America, and he's like traveling across America with his Bible so he can deliver like the only remaining Bible to the.
I'll pass on that.
No, it's a good movie though.
Yeah. Jeez, I'd relocate the library so he couldn't find it.
I know. I kind of felt the same way. I was like, "Ooh, dude, you're making a mistake."
Just keep that book in your pocket. Yeah, my number 16 is not. I didn't think it was a bad movie, but completely pretty unremarkable. That's Antoine Fisher.
Yeah, it's unremarkable. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
My number 15 is the very fine Tony Scott film Out of Time.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
It's got like a good like Florida vibe, you know, like a movie, like a noir in Florida.
Oh yeah, I love that shit.
Yeah,
I gotta do it like a Tony Scott marathon because there's quite a few of his movies I have not seen.
Yeah, he's good people.
Well, I love him. Number 15 was already on your list. Now we're getting into movies of Denzel that I shouldn't say that yet. Okay, so
Fallen. Fallen.
Fallen. I think it was. I remember it being fun.
It is fun, but it's very silly. Doesn't the demon possess a cat at the end?
That's entirely possible.
I think so. My 15, 14, and 13 are all Tony Scott movies. So get ready.
Love it.
Yeah, my number 14 is Man on Fire.
That's one I didn't see either. Yeah.
I saw it on a first date, senior year of high school. I talked about this on the Tony Scott episode we did.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. What's your number 14?
My number 14 is The Equalizer 2.
God, so high.
I only have 22 movies.
Still too high. My number 13 is The Crimson Tide.
Didn't see it.
I know you didn't.
Now, for me, we're into movies that I like.
No, I'm I've been in movies I like for a while.
For a while, yeah. Now, that's how he is, this guy. And so now we're into movies that I like.
I'll let you know when we're into movies I love.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
My top 9.
Yeah. Actually, that's mine. I think the top 9 are the same here. Yeah. Okay. 13, Ricochet.
Oh, nice. My number 12, Henry, is, it could have been better, but boy, Denzel owns in this fucking movie, and that's my number 12, American Gangster. And you know how much I love Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
And Denzel wipes the goddamn floor with this guy in this movie.
Yeah, that movie was a disappointment.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's good. It's totally watchable. I enjoyed the movie. All right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a movie we thought was going to be like a great movie, and what it's become is a movie that, like, if you catch it on cable, you're in for it.
I have never seen it since the theater. Yeah. Number 12, totally fun movie. I liked it. Unstoppable.
Oh, wow. Very high.
Yeah.
My number 11 is a very fine movie. And you know what, Henry? A while back, someone asked us what movie we would want to be a franchise that was not franchised.
Oh,
And,
right. I
and
remember that
I'm going to
question.
say I would watch like 6 or 7 of these movies. And
Okay.
that is Devil in a Blue Dress.
Oh, I didn't see it. Yeah.
That fucking character Denzel plays, and you're gonna want to have that Cheadle character come back too.
Cool.
It's so goddamn good.
All right. All right. My number 11, I remember the movie itself I found to be syrupy, heavy-handed, but Denzel was a powerhouse. Should have won the Oscar and once again did not, and that is number 11, The Hurricane.
The Hurricane, yeah. Well,
Yeah, I don't think it's that good, but I think he is
he's
superb.
dynamite in it, and that's why that's my number 10.
Look at that. My number 10's American Gangster.
Love it. All right, now
we're into nines, man, and I love all of them.
Me too. And number 9, look, I have problems with this movie, but they're largely Broderick related, and that is Glory.
Fair enough. Number 9, spoiler alert, The Equalizer.
Very high. My number 8 is Fences. Probably
too
be.
low.
I relapsed during it, Henry.
Oh, there's a lot of drinking in that movie.
Listen, no joke. My last relapse before I became sober for good happened during Fences.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's like a limit to my love.
I completely understand that it's colored by that. That makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. But I love that movie, and I've been a fan of that play forever. It's one of my favorite plays ever written.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Number 8, a movie that I have preached about for years. I own it. I saw it not in the theater, but right when it came out on DVD. I love this movie, Inside Man.
I love that movie too, and that's why it's my number 7.
Look at that.
And that was the only movie. So, like, Denzel never made a sequel until The Equalizer 2.
Right. Right.
And the only other one I can remember even being discussed was Spike was trying to get an Inside Man sequel off the ground for a while.
I'd love it.
Yeah, it would be great, right?
Great movie. My number 7 is Flight.
That's my number 6, Henry.
Look at that. Yeah, this is funny. Well, we're really getting into some quality movies here.
Quality flicks. That's Zemeckis' best movie since Castaway or whatever.
Yeah.
And really dynamite. And that's Denzel playing a complicated character.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, excellent movie. You said that was your 6?
Yes. What's your 6?
My 6 is Philadelphia.
Love it. And all right, heavy hitters, Hank.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right.
These are fucking heavy hitters.
Now they really are.
And I'll throw something out there. 3 of my top 5 Denzel movies are Spike Lee movies.
3 of your top 5 are Spike Lee movies? Okay. 2 of my top 5 are. No. All right. Here we go.
That's because I think you haven't seen one of them.
Heavy hitters.
These are the grand slams, the slap shots, the three-pointers, the touchdowns, the curling when the puck gets close to the circle. These are the heavy hitters of the franchise. Heavy hitters.
Okay, number 5 is He Got Game.
Yeah, baby. My number 5 is Fences.
Love it. My number 4 is Philadelphia.
Yeah, can't argue that. My number 4 is Training Day.
My number 3 is Training Day.
My number 3 is He Got Game.
Okay, you. All right.
What?
Nothing. I'll say it when we're done. My number 2 is Mo Better Blues.
Didn't see it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I figured.
Yeah. My number 2 is Glory.
Okay. All right. This is what I was worried about. I was very concerned you were going to place Glory ahead of my number one.
No, I can't do that.
And the number one Denzel movie probably always will be Malcolm X.
I agree with you. Malcolm X is, I mean, it's a quintessential watch for
it's no Al Pacino in Scent of a Woman or anything.
Right. No, I love Glory. I think it's great. But if and Denzel is one of the reasons it's great. But we're talking about Denzel Washington here, and like an actor who's playing a quintessential part, a quintessential figure in American history, and it's just, I mean, it can't get any better than that. I mean, and the movie is masterful. So,
and it's Spike Lee just like still firing on all cylinders. That Spike Lee of Do the Right Thing, Mo Better Blues, and Malcolm X, the height of his career.
True, even though, as you would agree with me, I'm sure he's still. I mean, he has some. He's
a force to be reckoned. Look, he's one of my favorite filmmakers of all time.
Right.
But I'm just saying,
he can throw a dud. He can throw a dud. Yeah.
But that was like 3 masterpieces in a row.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, Malcolm. So we agree on that.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about just the worst, The Equalizer.
I'm not.
You love this movie. Listen to me, Henry.
Yeah.
This is right up there with The Purge on Henry bringing duds to this franchise show.
I don't think so. This is, first of all, when I first saw this movie, I was really surprised at how good I thought it was. I loved the style. I loved Denzel. I loved and this is all going to come back right on my rewatch for this show. I loved it even more because it's just got such a cool vibe to it. This first
does
one.
it?
Yeah, it really does, dude. It's got a simple plot. It's no frills. They got little things that are not hammered in, but just kind of touched upon, like an OCD vibe to the character.
OCD vibe? I don't think he's OCD. He's just like a creature of habit.
I checked. I watched the Blu-ray thing.
I don't give a shit if it doesn't come across in the picture.
It did to me. Because there's no other reason why he's constantly closing doors once, twice, 3 times a lady, and then checking his watch every stopwatch and shit.
The stopwatch I wondered about, and to me that was just like a cool thing that like had no explanation.
Yeah, well, it's cool anyway. But yeah, man, I love the direction. I love the score, which is totally 80s vibe to it by Harry Gregson.
Score is good. I was feeling the score.
And that shit at the end with him in the rain, man, come on.
Wait, that's the second one.
You're crazy. No, not talking about that thing at the end of the second one. I'm talking about in the first one in the hardware store.
That's not in the rain. That's in the fucking sprinklers.
Sprinklers, sorry. Might as well be rain. And most important of all, besides Denzel and Fuqua and the style, you got a cast here, man.
Oh, ew.
David Harbour.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Chloe Moretz.
No, she's my LVP.
That's crazy. She's likable.
She's my LVP.
David Harbour, he did it for you in this?
He's great.
He's a non-entity, man. I wouldn't even notice this guy unless he was in. He's Stranger Things guy. That's the only reason I paid any attention to him.
That's what he is to you? I didn't even remember Stranger Things.
He's the Stranger Things dad. The
sheriff.
Know,
I never thought of that until this moment. I watched the first season, and he was my favorite part of that show.
He's good.
No. I like David Harbour. I thought I like his movies, man. He's in like Revolutionary Road.
What's he in Revolutionary Road?
He's the neighbor who has the hots for Kate Winslet, and they bang.
This guy, he's a space filler.
I thought you liked David Harbour.
I like him fine, but like, listen.
I thought we had a conversation once where you. Okay,
this movie's got both these movies have a villain problem, Henry.
No, let me finish because I wasn't done. I love Martin Zokas.
Oh, he's nobody.
He's awesome.
Oh,
great villain.
Fucking 12th tier Bond villain.
Totally disagree. He'd be a great Bond villain. I love this guy. Great. Awesome villain. The dialogue, when Denzel sits down at the table with him, that scene together they have, when Denzel tells him the story of the Russian. You remember this?
Yeah, I remember.
It's electric. I loved it.
Yeah, it was so electric. It made me check my phone. No,
Wow,
I'm joking.
really
I'm
disinterested,
joking.
huh?
I was into it. I did
I
have
mean,
to.
well, what
I
you
had
must
to.
have-
I had to put the subtitles on these movies to force me to pay attention.
Okay. I'm surprised. I mean, I didn't think you'd probably go bananas over it, but I thought you'd like it.
I was feeling it at first. Okay, now the parts of these movies I like are the parts where Denzel as the Equalizer is just living his motherfucking life. I like retired Equalizer more than I like Equalizer fighting crime. So
Well, we're talking about the first one, so let's try to differentiate.
I am Henry.
All right.
If you let
Okay.
me get a fucking word in edgewise in this episode.
Yep, that happens a lot.
So he
You're the interrupter.
so it starts with he's a retired whatever government guy, and he is living on his own, and his wife is dead, and he's reading the 100 books you have to read before you die. And I'm like, where did he get this list? Is this one of those shitty books? Those like giant books you can buy for like
I
10
think it
bucks.
is.
The 1,001 movies
Yeah.
you've got to see before you die.
Definitely. It had to be.
God.
Yeah.
So he's just like making his way through this list, and he's reading what, The Old Man and the Sea?
One of my favorite books.
I bet it is. You relate to it. God. He goes. But I like this part. So he goes to the diner every day. He's got this routine. I love that he works in Home Depot. What is it called in the movie? Home Goods.
Home Mart.
Home Mart, of course. He's friends with this fat kid who's trying to be a security guard. Meanwhile, there's a whole subplot in this movie about this dude trying to lose weight to become a security guard. And there's like a training montage.
Oh, it's not a montage.
It's
a
a
quick
fucking
scene.
training montage. And Henry, I've got to break some news for you.
Yeah.
I'm a licensed security guard in New York City.
You what?
I am a licensed security guard in New York City.
That's right.
Yeah.
You are.
It doesn't take much.
Well, this is Massachusetts. Maybe they have higher standards.
Yeah. I just had to sit in a room for 3 days and listen to a guy be transphobic. That's how I became
I
a
remember
security
you telling
guard.
me that.
Yeah, he was like,
That's great.
they were part of the test. He was like, listen, some weirdos are going to come up to you and ask you, they're going to try to goad you into telling them which bathroom to use, and you can't answer them. And I was like, fuck you.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Wow. In New York, nonetheless.
And he was like, nobody's being transphobic, and I was like, that's not true. Someone is in this room right now. I almost didn't get my
Wait, you
life.
said that, right?
Yeah.
What do you respond to that?
He didn't care for me.
Can't imagine. He didn't make you pull tires or some Rocky shit?
No. Someone should get this guy in trouble, actually. If I had my wallet on me right now, I think I'd have his name. I've kind of always wanted to, like, report him to, like...
You should.
Yeah. Anyway, fuck
Do
that
it.
guy. So... Fucking, I liked all that stuff, and then he goes to this diner every. It's kind of fun to just watch Denzel. Like, I'm Denzel, and I'm still fucking cool and shit, but I'm an old man, and I'm just living my motherfucking life.
That's right.
And he goes into this diner every day, and he's like pals with the diner guy.
Yep.
And there's a young hooker who comes in every day, a real hooker with a heart of gold,
Yeah.
and he's pals with her. And he wants her to get on the straight and narrow, and that's Chloe Moretz. And so, like, all that whole setup, the setup to the movie, I kind of dig. Like,
It's 25 minutes before, it kicks into some of the
big
action.
time. It lasts a while, and I was kind of feeling that first like half hour, and then it just sort of lost me. Well, honestly, not like Chloe Moretz is what got me into this fucking movie, but like once she disappears from the movie, then because like to me, what's interesting about the Equalizer is that he's retired,
Right.
and so
Right.
the stuff where he is helping out people in his neighborhood, or like the part, like it's smart to end the movie with a big action sequence in the Home Depot because that's like a nice normal place, like it's not conventional for action movies.
It was
But
very cool.
yeah, but there's too much about this movie that is just like straight down the middle, like shitty action movie where it's like, yep, he like goes to the hideout and he kills a bunch of dudes and they're looking at surveillance tapes and that's in the second one, really. But
it's I guess I would counter that just simply with normally I would say you're right, but it's done with such panache.
I don't think it is. I'm like, honestly, I was into it, and then I was like, listen, that whole section of the movie where he goes and hangs out with Melissa Leo and Bill Pullman, fucking cut it right out.
Really? I liked it. He's not asking for help. He's asking for permission. Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Whole movie's badass.
It's not.
The other thing is he doesn't use any guns, if you notice that.
He uses a nail gun.
That's right. He uses like any kind of found object that he can see in the room. And I love that. I love the close quarters combat. I think it's very cool.
And but it's samey, man. You fucking seen it. All it is, man, is there's nothing new under the sun anymore. Everyone's doing Bourne.
Well, there's some tears under the sun.
It's all
right?
Yeah, very good.
No, but it's the way it's shot with Fuqua, and to see Denzel doing it.
Yeah, sure. It's fun to see Denzel doing it.
It's very cool. I think he holds the fucking screen in this so well.
Of course he does. He's Denzel. He makes this movie watchable single-handedly, Henry.
Yeah, but I just disagree with you. With the villains, like I liked all of them. I just thought it was just very, very cool, and I thought I liked some of the beats and the pauses. I thought it had like a more contemplative edge to it than a lot of other movies. And then it
was contemplative in that he's like this weird secret genius, and it's doing another one of those things I fucking hate, where we're making him like almost pseudo autistic at times, where like he walks into the room like at the beginning of an action sequence, and you have to do like this weird effect where you like close up on his brain or something like this. Oh, his mind's moving. He knows how it's gonna happen now.
I liked all that. I just thought all of that was really cool. I don't know, man. We're just we're getting different things from it. It's not like I think what you're saying is like completely out of the blue. I don't think it's a crazy opinion or anything. I could see that how one would watch it and think it's sameness, but I didn't get it from that. I just, honestly, even the smaller stuff he does to help people. I thought that bank robbery was cool. Not the bank robbery, when the guy robs the Home Depot.
Yeah, that was great.
Then they don't show him take the guy down. The next day, the ring is just back in the register.
I enjoyed that, and to me, that's what the movie has, which is a different take on this type of movie.
Oh, so you do think it does have
I do, but then too often does it squander that and just push that part of it to the side and concentrate on bullshit I've seen 100 times.
Interesting. Yeah. I just think the things that are brought to the movie push it over the limit of like what's a boring action movie that is just like a Two Guns or some shit. I think this is like a superior action movie.
It's a superior action movie because Denzel Washington is in it.
And the director.
I don't know, man. I don't know
and
if that's
the script.
True. Like, is this that far a cry from... Is this... Would this be much better than The Transporter 2 if Denzel Washington was not in this movie?
I didn't see The Transporter 2.
I'm just saying, like or Taken 3 or something?
Yeah, man. Come on. I don't, but also isn't that sort of a, I mean, I guess there's validity to that argument, but there's also, it's kind of invalid in that, well, this is what we're given, man. So you can argue all day and night till the cows come home if another actor would have sunk the movie. We don't have another actor in it. We have Denzel.
We have Denzel Washington, and Denzel Washington is enough to get me to sit through this movie and be engaged and fucking watch the thing. But Denzel Washington is not enough to single-handedly make it a good movie. Denzel Washington has been in bad movies.
Yeah, and so for me, my answer is what I had said right at the start of reviewing this with you, which is that it's the score, it's the acting, it's the simple story, it's the direction. I like everything in the movie. I love the look of it. I like every facet of the movie. To me, delivers. So it's not just Denzel like propping up a movie to me.
That's what it is to me.
Yeah, I understand that's what he did in a lot of the lower ones that I rated. But for me, this is not one of those. And that's why it's so high on my list. And I really like it a lot, and I will watch it many more times.
I'm good. I'm good forever.
Okay. All right.
I mean, is there plot stuff you want to talk about?
Yeah. Well, now I'm like, oh no, I'm just kidding. I'd keep going, but no. I mean, it's more like different sequences in the movie. I mean, there is a weird aspect of. I didn't mind it because I thought she was slightly miscast. I actually thought of another. We've done this recently on something, a reverse casting where I thought that Haley Bennett, who plays Chloe Moretz's friend, would have been better in the Chloe Moretz role.
No.
She just looks out of place. She just looks like she's too acty, man. She's doing that Dakota Fanning shit that I can't stand.
I think you need it. Like, I don't know. Like, Haley Bennett, to me, is too on the nose what you would normally cast in a role like that. Chloe Moretz has, like, a natural likability. And it's, what are you, asking this actress to do, like, method work on the hooker with the heart of gold?
No, she's just ringing it. I don't know.
I kind of know what you mean. She's supposed to be like a Russian fucking prostitute, and Chloe Moretz does not have the vibe where like she came over here from Russia. Or
That's all I mean.
But I don't know. Haley Bennett to me is no great shakes either, and she ends up getting killed. And but
what I was gonna say was when she disappears from the movie, that's one of the only strange things. I'm not saying I minded it, but they do kind of. She gets beaten up, goes to the hospital. And then
that's just fucking it. Yeah, she's gone.
Yeah, she's gone until the end of the movie. Yeah, it's a little weird.
What's going on? She was off filming Carrie or something. But
Kick-Ass 3.
They haven't done that yet, have they?
I know. No.
But look, she's fine, and then they go off and they do the movie, and I have a problem. This movie has 3 endings.
Okay.
Okay, and I always have a problem with multiple endings. There are 3 logical places for this movie to end. So they should just have it end in the homeware store with the fucking when he walks away in the sprinklers.
I will confess, even though I had seen it before, I thought that it was over.
Then all of a sudden, Henry.
Yeah, but I like
that. It
cuts
to Moscow 3 days later. And I'm like, what are we doing in Moscow?
I have loose ends.
So there's like the one main villain that the Zolkas was working for. They're equally boring.
Pushkin.
Yeah. By the way, his name is Vladimir Pushkin.
Hey!
Oh, my God.
I'll take it.
And at one point, Melissa Leo describes him as a Russian oligarch like any other. And I'm like any other or like that one guy with the exact same name?
I dug it, though, because I love the way he died. It was fucking great.
Ridiculous. But yeah, so he goes to Moscow to kill that guy. And then you think that's the end. Maybe that was an epilogue or something. But then you get him back on the street with fucking Chloe Moretz. And Chloe Moretz is like, hey, by the way, I've got a normal job now. Everything's going great. I didn't fall into the foster system.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. It's got like the 3 endings. The sprinkler ending would have been fine, but I didn't mind the other stuff because, like Denzel says in the movie, if you're gonna make it rain, you're gonna catch some mud.
Sure. Whatever.
There's so many good lines. Who are you? Awesome. And that's where you would have been happy if he would have said,
I'm the Equalizer. I was fucking waiting for that.
That would have been cool. But
that is bizarre. There's that big fucking moment. He shoots the shit out of the main villain with a nail gun, and he says, "Who are you?" very pointedly.
Yes.
Fucking excuse me. I am the Equalizer.
Yeah.
And then he goes home, and this is when he has the idea to post.
I love that.
In the fucking TV show, it's 1985.
Right, well, that's why it's cool.
It's 1985. You could get away with a newspaper ad. What fucking responses? He posts this shit on Craigslist, Henry. What responses is he getting from this ad? Need any help? Call the Equalizer.
Yeah.
First of all, half the shit is gonna be scams,
right.
People trying to get him to pay for webcams and shit,
right.
And the other half is gonna be what is this, a TaskRabbit kind of thing? Can you help me move? Who's going on Craigslist?
Maybe
for justice.
He would have had to post the ad with really specific search options. So within 20 miles, within 5 cubic feet.
Hashtag justice. Hashtag solving crimes. Yeah. Hashtag helping the helpless.
Love it. Went into it with the 3, came out the other side of 4.
It's a 2.
2 stars, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I have a note here, and I want to point something out.
Sorry to have put you through this, my friend.
It's fine. It was totally watchable. You'll like this note. At one point, there's a music box, Henry, and it's playing some classical music. What is it?
Swan Lake.
And it's the theme from Harry Potter.
What? Oh!
Listen, you're very fond of calling John Williams a plagiarist, and I'm sitting here thinking, is she just listening to a music box with a theme from Harry Potter?
Wow, that's interesting.
But it's not. It's just that sounds like that.
That is so funny. So that's a theme from, okay.
Yeah.
Good ears, my friend.
Thanks, bro.
Proud of you.
All right.
Very proud of you.
Listen, I almost want to try and come up with someone other than Denzel. Because
you easily could.
Denzel's the MVP.
He is.
I'll just go with him, whatever.
He is the MVP. I agree.
Yeah.
My LVP's Chloe.
Mine's the Zokas, Martin Zokas.
Boy, I'm really interested when we cover John Wick, because I only saw the first one, but I remember really, really liking the villain in that, and they're very similar. So maybe I'll be very curious as to what you think of that.
Well, let's see. It's coming up May, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
All right.
So 2 stars. Okay, I got a superhero count.
I'd love to hear it.
All right. Well, here we go first. All right, your boy Martin Zokas.
Yeah.
He was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I skipped that movie.
That was a very wise move on your part. I didn't. He played Dr. Ashley Kafka.
Good heavens.
Is that somebody?
It can't be, right? I
don't know. You're the Spider-Man guy.
I don't know that character.
Okay. And he played in Sin City 2.
A Dame to Kill For.
Right. He played Damian Lord.
Sure.
Yeah. Chloe Grace Moretz.
Hit Girl.
There you go. David Harbour.
Oh, I know this one. He is going to play Hellboy in the reboot of Hellboy.
Well, what do you think of that?
I think it's good casting. I think it'll be good. I think he could play a certain type of role.
Harbor Boy.
Pop a bunch
right.
of makeup on him. He'll be fine.
All right. He was also Dexter Tolliver, whoever that was, in Suicide Squad.
Probably one of the Suicide Squads.
Maybe. And he played D.A. Frank Scanlon in The Green Hornet, which I never saw, but you did.
Yeah, don't remember him.
Yeah.
He doesn't leave an impression, that guy.
And two more. The main pimp, Slavi, the guy who, the first action
That guy was
sequence.
boring, too.
You didn't like him, huh?
No.
I really don't know
That scene where he smacks
from a Russian pimp.
The scene where he smacks Chloe Moretz is pretty good.
Jesus Christ. Well, that actor, David Meunier, was in The Incredible Hulk, the movie, the great Marvel movie, playing a soldier. And he was in Arrow, playing Ishmael Gregor.
That's got to be somebody. I don't know.
I guess.
Yeah.
And then finally, one of Teddy's, Martin Zokas's henchmen is an actor named Salah Baker, and he's been in a shit ton of Marvel live-action movies as a stuntman. And then in Iron Man 3, he played an extremist soldier, and in Deadpool 2, he played a character named Russell Collins.
All right. And of course, Denzel has steered wide clear of the superhero world.
He really has.
Yeah, I got to imagine he's been offered a bunch of roles, and when
I would think.
And when he said no, Lawrence Fishburne has taken all of them.
Denzel, it's Zach. It's Zach.
No.
Can you be Perry White? Want to be Perry White? Nah, I'm good.
He didn't even take that call, Henry.
He didn't take the call. It said Snyder, Zach on his cell phone. He's like, listen, I don't know.
You want to get in touch with Denzel? Just change your caller ID to Tony Scott or Antoine Fuqua.
Not anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe do it, and then he'll be like, "What?"
That's true. That's true.
From beyond the grave.
I'm King Kong, motherfucker.
What was that? King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
That's right.
Yeah.
In case the viewers were wondering, we did skip the 2014.
No, it's actually King Kong ain't got shit on me. King Kong ain't got nothing on me was in the trailers, but in the movie, it's King Kong ain't got shit on me.
That sounds right. Sounds right. We did skip our 2014 list in the interest of time and Dan not doing one.
And Dan forgetting to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll do that another time.
Equalizer. Hey, do you have a 2018 list?
No. And
okay.
I thought about it. I thought about doing it, but because of all of our lists, I didn't. But and the other main reason is we're going to be doing quite a few movies of this year, I know, so I'm going to have plenty of ops to do it.
Plenty of ops, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Plus, last year we didn't reveal ours till about April.
Yeah, but I jumped the gun.
I know you did. No, I'll have mine soon. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Equalizer 2, Henry.
Yeah.
The whole gang.
I've never seen it.
The whole gang's back. Fuqua. Richard Wank is writing. They went with the same exact release week, July 20th, 2018. By the way, 4-year break, 1 year too many.
It's a lot. That's a big break. Yeah.
Yeah, for this fucking movie.
I know.
That's how long the TV series was on the air. 4 years.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I remember. And as much as I like the first one, I didn't go see this one in theaters.
Okay. Budget of $79 million. Box office $190.4 million. Although, Henry, I think you wanted to cover this when it was out. I think it was out the same week as Mamma Mia 2, and I forced you to cover that.
Oh, so fuck you. There you go. I think you're right. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. Well, I got you back. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, not really, because I had to go see Mamma Mia 2 in the fucking theater. So
what an experience it was.
After work. Yeah, it was great. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking about sending out an SOS while I was watching this fucking piece of shit. So
Equalizer 2 or Mamma Mia?
Equalizer 2.
Oh, okay.
All right. So
I can't wait for this fucking review. Jesus.
So I listen. It's not different from the first one. Like I think they're about the same.
It's so different from the first.
So what's happening now? It starts. He's on a train in where are we?
I think we're in Turkey.
Turkey. I think you're right. And
I don't know.
he's got a big beard for no reason.
That's a disguise.
But why is he in disguise? You think
No
he's
real
gonna
need, I
be
guess,
like it's set up like he's gonna be like fucking. First of all, you think he's on like a CIA mission and he's undercover or something, and then it turns out he's not undercover at all. He comes right out and says exactly who he is, not the Equalizer, but just Denzel Washington, some guy. And he kills these motherfuckers and gets this little girl back, and it turns out that the mission he was on was that the proprietor of his local bookstore's weird Turkish ex-husband kidnapped their daughter?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. That's how you asked how he found people. Maybe she must have answered his ad on Craigslist.
No,
I don't know.
Definitely not, dude. This is just the bookstore he goes to.
Yeah, he was chilling in the bookstore. He overheard her talking about
this guy. He didn't overhear. He pressed the issue because this fucking Equalizer just loves chatting with everybody. He's a Lyft driver in this movie. It's the perfect job for him. Just yap everybody's goddamn ear off. This guy.
Yeah, there's some strange. I was going to say anomaly. That's not the right word. There's some strange choices that are made, like that are just flat out different and unoriginal to the first movie. Which is like, first of all, that OCD or checking the watch. That's pretty much gone.
He checks the watch
once in the beginning of the movie. That's it. One time. For some reason, he ain't working at Home Mart. I mean, maybe because he destroyed the place. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. He probably got fired.
Yeah. Now, he's driving a Lyft.
You know, it is a bummer, though, because they developed, like, a supporting cast for him in that first movie. Like, I was a little bummed Chloe Moretz didn't come back, but not surprised. But where the fuck was his little security guard fat friend?
I am... Well, he saved that guy's mother's.
He did. He saved the mother's restaurant.
That was another cool sequence, by the way.
That was a good sequence.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. So now I'm glad you watched the show, because now from what you described about the show, this is a little more in line. This part, right? He's kind of clearly he gets some cases from Melissa Leo. So he is guided a bit by her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he doesn't have like a job in that show. Seems to be pretty well off.
Yeah, and I guess they did away. Like, I guess they supplanted the fine wine and the classical music with like the reading. I would assume that's the
yeah. But he's not reading because he's a voracious reader. He's reading because his wife left behind this shitty fucking book.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you've seen the show in these two movies. I mean, look, Denzel could do it all. Would they have been better off just keeping him as a classical music loving wine?
No, they'd have been better off not remaking a forgotten show from the 80s.
Jesus. All right. Continue.
Yeah. So, I mean...
Oh, and he moved, too. He doesn't live where he used to live, right? He's in this, like, complex now.
Yeah, well, that's to give him a new supporting cast, because he's not in the Home Goods anymore.
Sure, that's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, so he's living out of this apartment complex now. Let's call it Melrose Place.
Sure.
And... so he's got he's got a few new friends. He's got like 3 new friends at this place. There's this gardener played by Sakina Jaffrey, who's an actress I like. And there is
the kid from Moonlight.
There's the kid from Moonlight. For sure there's the kid from Moonlight. And there's Orson Bean, who was John Cusack's boss in Being John Malkovich.
You were absolutely right.
Yeah. And
I didn't recognize him, honestly. When I was doing my superhero count, I saw that credit, and I was like, holy shit. Yep.
First of all, listen, what is the Equalizer doing? tracking down a concentration camp survivor's long-lost sister.
I don't. That's
How,
the one.
how is that a job for the Equalizer?
I'm not sure.
I'll even out the odds. I'll find
Yeah,
your sister.
it's a little. See, that's what the contrast of these two movies to me is enormous. To you, it's not much, but to me, it's kind of lost sight of the provincial nature of the first one, whereas this one tries to go like kind of more worldwide and
Yep,
more.
there's a little bit of globe hopping in this movie.
Yeah, I'm not really into that.
Exactly,
I like
because what's interesting about him is that he's in a normal everyday setting.
Agree. We're in agreement. Yeah.
Yeah. So
You could say it through gritted teeth, but we're in agreement. And you know, and also this one. Now this will be. Did you think the villain? I predicted this like 3 hours before it happened.
I probably would have if I was trying to predict things and if I cared enough to.
It didn't really take me trying. It was pretty easy to.
All right. Well, I'm not up to that. I want to talk more about this apartment complex, Henry. The Moonlight Kid.
Yeah.
Now this kid, he's a real gangbanger. All right.
Mm-hmm.
He's been skipping school. All right.
First step.
And Denzel Washington's like, kid, you gotta go to school because secretly you're a great artist and you need to focus upon your art talents. And so while this is happening, Denzel is scraping some graffiti off the side of the building, Henry.
Yeah.
The building's been tagged by a local gang. Did you happen to get a look at this graffiti?
I mean, briefly, what did it say?
Someone spray painted the word gang on the building.
They did not.
I swear to God.
Oh, no.
It's just the word gang.
That's
in big
scary.
red paint.
That'd be scary. Yeah. Gang.
Yeah.
Gang. You could kind of think anything on that.
No, it must have been a gang that did it, I would think.
Gang.
They put up their tag. Gang.
Hey, Dan, should we call the super? Because it looks like there's a gang that did it. Yeah, like what, the Get Along Gang, Gangbusters.
It's like that band, The Band. They're just gang.
Gang.
Mm-hmm. So so he's scraping the paint off. Meanwhile, what happens here? Melissa Leo is overseas and she gets murdered. and and like she's with this dude who's like Denzel's former partner or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess he's the Jerry Stiller character from the TV show.
Maybe. I don't know.
But so it turns out that he has been disillusioned with the severance package he received from the CIA or whatever, which, fair enough. Denzel Washington, his severance package was so shitty, he's working in as a Lyft driver.
Well, he didn't really get a severance package, right? Because he faked his own death with the help of Melissa Leo. Yeah,
he did. So this guy, he's become a mercenary, and he was responsible for killing Melissa Leo. I did see it coming, Henry.
Yeah.
Because I remember there's one shot of him in the elevator after that. And I'm like, oh, he's had something to do with it. And also, I knew that either I knew Melissa Leo or Bill Pullman would get killed. Because they're the only characters that come back from the first movie. And what you have to do in a second movie, because it's kind of a vengeance tale, is raise the stakes. And so what you have to do is kill a character from the first movie, and there are only two.
Well, I knew they were going to kill Melissa Leo because they show you that in the trailer.
Oh, well, I didn't see the trailer.
Oh, I did, in a bunch of stuff. You didn't see the trailer? You went to a lot of movies in that last year.
I probably fucking fell asleep.
Yeah, and they show you in the trailer that she's killed.
Well, I mean, if I did, it wouldn't have meant anything to me because I think at the time I didn't know she was in the first one.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, see, I was like, oh, they killed her off. Boy, so I knew going into this she was going to die. So, yeah.
Stakes is high.
Yeah.
So he goes... What?
No, go ahead.
So he goes after this dude. There's that one good scene where he like shows up at his family's house, and he's like,
I like that. That was a good scene.
Yeah, he's like acting all friendly to his family, and then like right after telling the dude that he's going to like fucking murder him and his whole team, he like asks his wife for a ride to the airport. That's pretty great.
That was great. It was his way out.
Yeah. And that was Denzel being as effortlessly charming as he is in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of this sequel, and for a lot of the things, like I said, that just didn't. It just kind of dropped a lot of the intimacy and provincial nature of the first one, and a lot of the little ticks and stuff that I thought were really cool. And I thought in this movie that, as usual with Denzel too, is that the best stuff in this sequel were the one-to-one scenes, like the scene with him talking to his friend in the kitchen.
You're totally right. He's so good at that. Mano a mano scenes. You think about like the scenes in like his movies that are just okay, that elevate them, are like the shit in American Gangster where he sits down at the table with Russell Crowe.
Yep.
And the scenes in Philadelphia.
In Inside Man.
Yeah, and in Philadelphia, the scenes where they're like in the library across the table from each other, him and Tom Hanks. Like that, he's so goddamn good at shit like that.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I mean, I was thinking of Inside Man because like there's a lot of like chaos.
A lot of scenes in the car in Training Day too with Ethan Hawke.
Oh, that's the best stuff.
Yeah, totally.
And I've been saying it, but I was going to say in Inside Man, his one-to-one talks with like Clive Owen, and his ending with Christopher Plummer when he's like telling him, I don't know if you remember the sequence.
No,
but
I forgot Christopher Plummer was in that movie.
He's the Nazi that's been like trying to cover up his crimes for like 50 years, 60 years. And
he's great.
And Denzel just like, you must have done some pretty horrible shit. And like, he just sits down across from him, and it's just incredible. And just like let the two of those titans like going at it on the screen. It's just fantastic. And so that's his forte. And so even in a movie as lackluster as this, those are still strong sequences. And even when they're not really with actors that are in his league, like, what is it? What's his name? Pedro Pascal, who plays his buddy in this movie. I think
this guy sucks.
Is he my? No, he's not my LVP.
Who's your LVP? I want to tell me.
It's Antoine Fuqua.
Oh God! All right, fine.
If it was an actor, it would be Pedro Pascal.
I mean, no one's particularly good in this movie. Even the Moonlight kid, who I fucking loved in Moonlight, is not really good in this.
It's just an underwritten role.
Well, it's because he's playing this character that's like, I don't know. I know Antoine Fuqua is black, but it's like the mainstream version of like the troubled black teen.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. It's kind of bullshit.
Very generic.
I mean, he's like getting involved with the wrong crowd and shit. It's so incongruous, like to the character to have like Denzel Washington like talk like, hey, like the fucking part where the kid offers to paint his house for like $115 or something, and Denzel offers. He says, "I'll let you paint my house, but I'm not gonna." I'm not going to give you money. Or no, what was it? He says, "I'll give you the money,
pay you, but you also got to read this book.
I'll pay you, but you have to promise to read this Ta-Nehisi Coates book."
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That was just a plug in the middle of the movie for a writer.
Yeah. A little much. Yeah, it's a little much. No, I agree with you. It's like this, and even in the generic nature of that gang, that says it all right there, right? You just look at the graffiti, and then you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna get a gang. We're even gonna get the kind of gang that Denzel can go into their apartment complex, pull the kid out, and I was like waiting for a scene where they come after him, and they're just like chilling in the hallway. And I'm like, well, surely there's going to be some repercussions to this that the Equalizer is going to have to deal with. And no, they're good.
Well, they kidnapped that kid at one point.
It's not. No, no, no. I'm talking about the gang themselves. They don't kidnap. They don't do anything.
Oh no, fucking nothing happens with that storyline.
Nothing.
He's just Denzel's like, you should get out of that gang, and the kid's like, hey gang, I'm gonna go focus on my art, and they're like, good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah,
go with God.
it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. I did like for me, I think the best sequence was the ending sequence. I thought that was pretty cool. Very well staged.
What, the hurricane heist?
I dug that.
All of a sudden, for the last 20 minutes of the movie just becomes hard rain.
Yeah. But, I thought it was a good set piece.
I don't know. It's not as good a set piece as the Home Goods store, though.
It
reminded me of the difference between Lost World and Jurassic Park. We're sort of doing the same idea, but it's instead of a Home Depot, which is kind of an interesting. You've never seen a setup like that for a big closing action sequence. This just sort of takes place in a town. And so it's like a fishing village, so he's got all the local... So instead of a nail gun, he shoots a guy with a harpoon gun.
Dirty Harry style. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was... And then he's got a big fist fight with the one guy, which has no weight whatsoever.
Well, because it's not it's not much of a fight. I mean... Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing that I got to say, in the first one, a lot of the violence felt very, real.
No, it doesn't feel. It feels painful. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
What I mean.
You could feel the hit. In this one, the action was kind of. Some of it worked. There are these weird spikes of gore in these Equalizer movies.
Yeah, there are actually. Yeah,
interesting choice, bones breaking, the harpoon through the head or something.
Shot glass through the eye.
Sure, but there's parts where he's just battling a dude, and it's clunkily choreographed.
I agree. I wanted to bring up one more thing that you'll hate, but I wanted your opinion on it and it's not necessarily to defend the actor, but more the writing. In the first one, I had forgotten to bring this up. When Martin Zokas takes David Harbour to meet the Irish gangster in the construction site in the mobile type of office, do you remember that sequence?
Yeah, vaguely.
You didn't? Okay, well, I guess not. Didn't make much of an impression. I thought that was an awesome sequence there because he has this dialogue that's really, really nasty about Irish people, and he's like,
"Oh yeah." I thought about you actually during that scene.
If I'd be offended,
yeah, because that's
no, not at all. I thought it was hilarious.
I don't know. To me, I know what you mean. That wasn't a poorly written scene, but anytime Denzel wasn't on scene, I was like, move it along.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna stick with my LVP for this movie because I love the first one so much. This was a letdown. I didn't think this movie was garbage, but
I thought it was about as good as the first. I'm gonna give this one a 2. Also,
this is a 2-star movie to me. I see a big difference between the movies. You don't.
It's not a major gap. There's one movie in between these movies, and that movie is Deja Vu.
Who's your MVP for the sequel?
Denzel. What do you want?
Yeah, I know he's mine too. I wanted to find another one, but
there is none. There were more options in the. I thought I liked Orson Bean. I think he sort of, rescues what was a really terrible storyline with a couple of good moments acting.
Yeah,
but the MVP. The clear MVP is Denzel.
Yeah.
I like Bill Pullman in these movies too, actually.
He's always good.
Yeah,
I kind of wish he had a little bit more to do.
I agree. His line deliveries are so good, and he's playing the head bitch in charge too in these movies. So
yeah,
he's sort of playing it similarly to how he does in Independence Day, and so
I
love that.
Give him a little more, turn him into the guy who handles the assignments. I don't know. Just for 4 years elapsing, I remember when I just watched it a couple nights ago, but for 4 years elapsing, I remember having the thought during the movie, like, boy, they had 4 years and this was the script they came up with. Like, it's just, this is much more by the numbers for me. This
It's the guy who wrote The Expendables 2. What do you want?
I want the first movie.
It's probably as good as The Expendables 2.
Yeah, I've only seen one of the Expendables, and I don't remember which one it was.
I've only seen the first one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw the one with Ermel in it, whatever one he's in.
That's the third one.
Oh, so I saw the third Expendables and didn't see the first two. Boy, I wonder how I followed.
ML. Okay. What's are we done?
I'm done. I got a quick superhero count.
Oh, my LVP is the villain.
Oh, yeah. Well, if I picked an actor, he would be mine.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
go
sticking
ahead.
with my choice. All right. So here we go.
Very nice.
This is interesting. I wanted to know if you'd heard of this. I'm sure you had. Pedro Pascal, who played Dave York, his friend, your LVP. He was in a 2011 TV pilot that never took off of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that was a big deal at the time.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah,
we were roommates in 2011.
Well,
I don't remember.
it never aired, dude. It
Really?
Yeah, it could. Listen, it's interesting because everybody involved in that show has gone on to better things. It was written by David E. Kelly.
I know. Why do I know his name?
I mean, he's been around. He's married to Michelle Pfeiffer, and he wrote The Practice and Ally McBeal and L.A. Law and Picket Fences. He's like one of the greats.
Okay.
And he's currently writing Big Little Lies, but he tried to do a Wonder Woman pilot in 2011. Adrian Palicki from Friday Night Lights played Wonder Woman. And it was going to be this thing where because he loves law procedurals. She was like a lawyer who, in her off hours, was Wonder Woman.
Wow.
And, some critics that got I've seen clips from the pilot, but never the whole thing. And supposedly it's like genuinely bad, and that's why like they wanted that show, but it didn't get picked up.
Of all of our coverage in almost 3 years we've been doing this, I don't think I've ever had a superhero count where anyone was involved in that.
It's one episode. That's why. Yeah.
He played Ed in Delicato.
Probably a mobster. I don't know.
I guess. But this is the weirdest part of this superhero count. Pedro Pascal is going to have another chance because he is in the upcoming Wonder Woman 1984. How fucking weird is that?
Who's he playing in that?
Not listed yet.
Okay.
Yeah. And then lastly,
I've got to assume it's Batman.
1984 Batman.
Yeah.
Works. And then only one more. Jonathan Scarf is an actor who played
Scarf?
That's his name. Scarf.
Okay.
Yes.
Sakina Jaffrey's never been in a superhero thing. It seems like she would be. Okay.
Yeah. He played one of the guys on the bad guys team, York's team, played a character named Resnick in this. He was in an episode of one of our most frequent flyers on this show, Smallville, playing Robert Queen.
Oh, maybe Green Arrow's dead.
That's what I thought. Who knows? Yeah. That's all I got.
All right. Sakina Jaffrey was in Heroes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Counts.
Exactly.
All right. Anyway, so that's great superhero count, brother.
Well, thank you.
That's Equalizer. I ranked them TV show 1, 2.
I ranked them 1 and 2, and I am going to watch that TV show.
You should. It's good.
I'm going to.
All right. And all right, what do we do now, Henry?